Welcome to the Paul Jones Podcast for the tech news you can use. In this episode, I will be giving my thoughts on the recent global IT outage. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments. You can also donate to the channel if you like. Details are in the description box, and I humbly thank you for your support. Just a little notification here. I'm sitting outside at a local Starbucks. Just wanted to jump on real quick and give my thoughts on this issue. So if you hear any noise in the background, please disregard it. I just wanted to get this out while it was fresh on my mind. Anyway, now for the story. A recent global software update has brought down IT systems all over the world. Some are calling it the biggest IT outage in history. Initially, the estimated economic loss was put at $1 billion, but now I've seen reports say estimated as high as $5.4 billion. In fact, Delta's CEO has come out and flatly stated that the outage has cost their airlines $500 million in 5 days. So this is a huge issue that Crowdstrike is, and we'll get into the name of the company, but it's a huge issue, obviously, with those kinds of economic, that kind of economic impact attached to it. At the center of the outage is the cybersecurity company Crowdstrike, whose flawed update was at least partially responsible. The defect adversely affected organizations running Microsoft Windows operating systems, but those companies who were using Linux and Mac OSs were largely unaffected. And so this is clearly is shown just how vulnerable e-commerce markets are all over the globe. The update itself was provided or supplied or fed, that's probably a better word, fed to the clients from the cloud. So in this super interconnected world we live in, as you can see, an issue can be spread worldwide in a matter of hours and bring down markets. So this is something that is going to have to be addressed, and I'm sure we have there are a lot of ongoing discussions going on right now behind closed doors as to how we might be able to mitigate issues like this in the future. Again, since then, Crowdstrike has stated that it has rolled out a solution, fix, if you will, for the issue. But it's going to take some time to have it applied across all the systems that's been down. So the clock is still spinning, still turning on the economic downtime and loss. So who was impacted by this? Well, from everything that I've read, everything that I've heard, the outage impacted organizations in virtually every sector of the American economy and beyond. Airlines, banks, government agencies, hospitals, public transportation systems. I mean, you name it. Everybody was hit by it. The only people, again, who escaped the carnage were those running Mac and Linux-based systems. So what are my thoughts on the issue? Well, I have a few. Bear with me a little bit here, and I'll get to them. Point number one, I'm having a difficult time seeing how this outage is not going to adversely affect Crowdstrike's bottom line. In fact, I already know it will. I read a report where I think this was on Fast Company. It said that Crowdstrike's stock price tumbled and erased billions from the company's balance sheet. That's huge. I don't know how big this company is, but that seems like a lot to try to come back from. But anyway, there's a link to the story in the description box. Point two, getting all the systems back up and running again and tested is going to take some time, like I mentioned earlier. And so we're talking about a $5 billion estimated loss already, and it continue that number is obviously going to continue to climb. Point three, the worldwide outage has clearly demonstrated just how fragile the global economy is. Given its scope and widespread impact, I imagine government regulatory agencies are already discussing ways to mitigate failures like this in the future. Point four, because of the nature of IT work in today's economy, software flaws are becoming more and more high profile. One mistake can mean unflattering headlines and damaged reputations, millions or even billions in lost revenue, as is the case here, and mass layoffs. That's just plain scary to me, and honestly, I don't have any stock in Crowdstrike. I don't know anyone who works there, but I empathize with them because I know what it is to have a piece of software go awry, and it's going to be tough for them to come back from this. They're probably facing, not probably, I'm sure they're going to be facing huge lawsuits here. And then finally, and I really hate to bring this up, but I feel like I have to. If I don't, I'll be doing you a great disservice, I think. All over social media when this story first hit, I saw a lot of people blaming the outage on a mythical DEI engineer. Now, we all know DEI is a buzzword, catch-all for everything that supposedly ills this society. But the truth of the matter is it's hard to quantify just how ridiculous that notion is. I'm going to give it a shot, though. First, as a professional software developer with more than 25 years of programming experience, I really don't see how you can blame any one individual for this issue. And here's why. I mean, typically, before software goes into any public-facing system, it has to undergo several rounds of testing locally, meaning on the developer's desktop, unit testing, and then that code is going to move on to a peer review, most likely, integration testing, system testing, and minimally. And then, given the fact that this is something that is security related, I'm sure the testing is even more rigorous than that. Organizational testing. And then after a piece of code is deployed into the production environment, there's a smoke test just to kind of just to be sure that it's working as it should. And that smoke test is, the developer is often on the call when that's done, but other people get pulled into this effort to ensure that it goes as planned. I guess what I'm saying is simple. This means that multiple people interact with the code before it hits the public. And so if there's a failure, it's not an individual failure, it's an organizational failure. So it just doesn't make any sense here. And then secondly, the numbers just don't support the assumption. Less than 5% of all professional programmers in the United States are so-called African Americans. That means, just on pure math alone, that the offending code is most likely written by someone else. So let's just dispense with the notion. It makes no sense at all. Again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for future content like this. You can also support the channel. Again, details in the description box. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.